We've all had them. Rules. It's a custom that we all have to follow throughout our years of life. Whether it may be at school or at a job, we have to follow the rules. We have to follow the rules. We don't have to follow the rules. 18. I was finally 18. Almost immediately my mom packed up my things and kicked me out. Lucky for me, I had a good friend who let me crash at his place for a while. Of course though, until I actually started to help pay rent and utilities, I had to clean the entire place up every day. Rules. I didn't mind though. A couple of weeks later I did eventually get a job at a gas station pretty close to my friend's house. Paid $13 an hour as a start off, and I could get up to $17, which was sweet for a gas station. And crazy enough, I started work the same day I got hired. I would even get a bonus if I came in, so of course I would take this opportunity. But I shouldn't have, if only I had waited until the allotted time. I arrived at the gas station and discovered the name to be Kendrick's gas station. I walked in and looked around. To my left were 2 registers, and to my right was a freezer which had frozen treats in it. I looked further down past the freezer and saw refrigerators with drinks in it, and finally the main attraction of this place, where just in the middle of the gas station was shelves which contained from my POV chips, crackers, donuts, gummy bears, and etc. Just as I was about to check out the other side of these shelves, I heard a stern, deep voice from towards the back of the last register. Well, 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 look who decided to show up for that bonus, eh? Oh, hi sir, are you the manager? Indeed I am. Quite an eye you got there, huh? Seems you've already scoped this place out. I'd just like to know what's going on in my area, sir. No need to be formal with me. This is a gas station at that. All I ask is for respect, both ways. Yes, sir. Oh, I mean, yes, I can do that. But I do have a question though. How much of a bonus will I receive for coming in today? Good question there. You'll be receiving $150 if you complete today's night shift. Of course, if you leave early or anything happens to the property, you won't get anything at all. After speaking to my manager for a bit more, I came to find out his name was Terry, and he owned this establishment for quite a while, 10 years to be exact. After a bit of more small talk, told me a couple of ground rules. Some rules are meant to be broken. Some of the most important rules are keeping everything in stock, managing the security camera, and receiving the right amount of cash. He also told me that there are usually 2 people at a time working the station being gas station for short. But back to the 2 people, supposedly the other person called in sick, and therefore I would have to man the house until the person recovered. I really didn't mind as much. I was working during the night, and hopefully I shouldn't expect too many people since of course, it's night. Well, goddamn. I was wrong. Turns out after my manager left, it was like this place became a beacon. I got person after person walking in buying 10 bags of chips and needing 3 cars filled with gas non-stop for 2 hours straight. Around my 3rd hour of working is when things began to slow down. It was really dark out now. The time I arrived here was 6 o'clock, and I got to work around 7 o'clock. Now it is 9 o'clock. My shift ends right at 12 o'clock, meaning I had close to 3 hours left before my manager would return again to take over for me. Usually that is supposed to be the other person, but they're sick. After giving a person access to fill up their tanks, I glanced back over to the security cams and saw a green truck pulling into the station. Strange. My manager left this place in a green truck. I leaned over the counter and and looked outside. Nothing. I looked back to the cams and saw the green truck. This time there was somebody stepping out of it. As I continued to look at this person, I saw it was wearing a long dark robe with a hoodie over its head, but the weird thing about it was the fact that I couldn't see its face. I mean, I know hoodies cover your head, but when I looked at where its face was supposed to be, it was pitch black. Yet again, I peeked over the counter and looked to my right, which was where the front door was, and I saw nothing. 20 on pump 1. I jumped back in horror as in front of me was the thing in the dark robe. Luckily, I managed to gain my composure and I responded with a sure thing and a coming right up. It handed me 20 and I did the process to give it gas on pump 1. After I was done, I couldn't help but look back towards its face and damn near screamed. I could see its face now, which was stretched into a huge grin. And not only that, but I got a heavy sense of dread and fear as I stared at its face. Then slowly this thing's hands began to gravitate towards the sides of my face. It was like I was in slow motion, except I couldn't move. The only thing that was moving was its hands, but just as it was about to reach me, a bell sounded. A person entered the store. Almost immediately I gained control of myself and I backed away from this thing, nearly hyperventilating. I looked towards the door to see who entered and practically saved me from what was about to happen to me. It was my manager. I quickly shouted at him to call the cops as I glanced back at this figure. Yet again, soon as I locked eyes with it, I couldn't move. Yet again its hands began to rise slowly towards me, but for the second time I heard the bell from the door. I shook my head and looked back over to my manager, who was now making his way towards the back of the store, walking past the figure in the process. Confused, I briefly glanced in front of me, being careful not to make eye contact with the figure, but there was nothing there. I spinned back around towards the cameras and saw the green truck pulling out of the station. What was going on? You're probably wondering what's going on, huh? I don't even know what to ask first, I said as I looked towards my manager, who was making his way towards me. First off, why did that thing even come here? Well, before I tell you that, I should probably explain to you first that this is not a normal gas station. I can tell after what just happened. Heh, got a sense of humor, huh? Yeah, I'm really funny, explain. Alright, you might want to grab a chair for this one. I grabbed a nearby rolling chair and sat down, eyeing my manager with curiosity. Go ahead, I'm listening. Okay, first off, I'm not human. Not human, mind clarifying. I'm what they call a game master. I basically make rules at places. Rules at places, what do you even mean? Like you just put a set of rules at jobs and anyone who goes to that place has to follow them? Not exactly. The rules that I make only apply when someone works under me. Customers who come here are not affected by the rules, but employees are. Depending on the game master depends on what the rules are, what they do, and how they apply. So I'm forced to just follow these rules because I work under you. What if I just quit? As I said that, this game master got a strange look on his face. Well, if you do, oh well. Oh well. Just like that. No strings attached. No, if you leave now you die later. Nope. What if I just try this out for a while and see if I can do this or not? Perfect. Here's a list of all the rules. Make sure you know all of them when it starts. When what starts? Wait, what? I rubbed my eyes and looked towards where my manager was, but there was just thin air. I looked around and noticed on the cams that there was a car pulling up. Crap. I looked back to where my manager was standing and saw he left a piece of paper on the floor. I quickly made my way to it, picked it up and began reading. Rule 1. Don't follow every rule. Okay, that was interesting. I looked over to Rule 2. Rule 2. If the man with a suitcase comes in, do not let him grab an item. If so, you may be visited.